Oh, we don't need no fancy words. I mean, we need to practice. We need to rehearse.
I'll tell you what we need. We need some paying gigs. We don't need this messing around, first one patio and then another, and that's ridiculous.
Amen.
We don't got no goddamn band. We don't need to fucking practice with it.
All right, welcome to the NOGD Band Podcast. This is Henry.
And I'm Chris.
And guess what we're doing today? It's a special day for us.
Yeah, I mean, we've got tons of stuff to talk about because we've been on a break, but we're going to this is a special episode, right?
Right.
And what's the reason for that, Henry?
Our friend, Rodney Lanier,
Yes, sir.
left us about 6 years ago.
Almost to the day of when we released this pod.
Right. And we wanted to spend some time talking about that. We've got some found sound things that have kind of come up. And
Well, for those of you that don't know him,
right.
Rodney was a kind of a local, I hate to use the word legend, but he was well known. I mean, I don't think when I have my funeral that they're going to actually have fire trucks from the Charlotte city close the street and do a parade. They did that for Rodney.
A more beloved person there wasn't on the face of the earth that I know of.
Yeah, and so Rodney he was known by everybody. He was the door guy at the Evening Muse, but much more than that, he was everybody's friend, and he was my former bandmate in a couple bands, Fence Lines, and he was the mind and the architect behind a band called Cia Cortez, which you're going to hear a lot of tonight. We've also got a special guest, another former member besides me of Cia Cortez.
Right, Tyler Baum.
Tyler Baum. He'll be here in a few minutes.
Who's also the publisher of a local newspaper, monthly newspaper,
right?
The Charlotte
Omelet. And so, yeah, we're gonna like remember Rodney, and we're gonna try to not make it maudlin or get too sad. But we're gonna play some Cia Cortez cuts. We're gonna play a Fence Lines cut. We're going to play some audio of his voice because
we have some,
and we would just like to hear his voice. So we're gonna come back in a minute with Tyler and introduce Tyler. And I think we'll start with Henry, your clips of Rodney talking. Tell us about how you recorded this.
You'll have to refresh my memory. Look, we were on vacation.
Yeah, we were at a Super Bowl weekend at the beach.
I just gotten the iPad 1, and I just started talking about. This is how long we've been sitting on this idea of a podcast, right? I've been kicking around the idea of doing a podcast, and I'd listen to people like Mark Maron and people like that, and I wanted somebody to interview. And
this is 2010,
and I thought of a guy who has led a colorful life that probably has a lot of things to say, and so we set up the iPad, which has a pretty good microphone on it, and pressed play and just went. And so we had, I've been sitting on this audio now for 6 years, sort of hoping to be able to find things that I could share with people that would have some meaning.
Yep, and thanks to Tyler, he put the cuts together that we're going to listen to. I should warn everybody, there is a dog barking in the background. That was Henry's dog. You'll hear barking in the background. She was not too happy about being on vacation.
Nope.
But other than that, we thought we'd play these. They're about different random things he was talking about, but we just wanted to give everybody a feel of what Rodney sounded like. Tyler Baum is here with us. Hello, Tyler.
It's me. Hi. How are you?
We're great. We were just discussing.
Yes.
We except for the Charlotte Omelet, which I think is amazing an achievement. What else are you doing these days?
Oh man, it's what am I not doing these days? Did a couple of podcasts already today, so my voice could be a little shot. Sorry. Right now I'm flavor or taste ambassador for Show Mars, which is I'm very proud of.
That's a good gig.
Thank you.
So yeah, as much as I would like to talk about these Show Mars,
do I look at the mic or you?
Where do you want?
Should I put eyes right there?
Yeah, where do you want it? Where do you want to look?
I'm just going to look at the whiskey.
Okay, that's good. You just stare at the whiskey. So
I'm going to look at the whiskey. So I'll keep talking.
Tyler, tell us about. I was going to let you have first crack at this.
Okay.
The interview that Henry did.
It was enjoyable, and I just loved listening to. What was it? About a half an hour or 34 minutes of Rodney talking.
At least, and about 25 of a dog barking in the
There was a
background.
dog. I did notice
That
a
was
dog. there.
my dog.
But y'all remained calm and carried on talking. And it was just great to hear his voice and his laughing and just thinking about what on earth are they, why were you recording it to begin with? And there were some great little moments of Rodney's wisdom and patience and humor in there. And I remember something about his voice that it reminded me, his voice does still remind me of something about it, Andy Griffith.
Yeah,
and,
it's very-
and
Is that-
every now and then I hear little reflections of Rodney in old Andy Griffith episodes, and I know Rodney was a huge super fan of that show.
Well, let's go ahead and for the folks that don't know, let's go ahead and play these clips. I went ahead and ran them all back to back to back, and then we'll talk about them.
I always actually wanted to play pedal steel ever since I was a kid. I think from just like watching like Hee Haw and shit.
Hee Haw? Really?
Yeah, Hee Haw. Like, you know, always seeing that guy and always loving that sound and going like, I want to do that. Like, you know, as a kid, you know, or like, I want to figure out how to do that. The way pedal steel works is there's two different tunings, and the one I use is called E9, and that's most of your country and, you know, any kind of indie rock or whatever. Most people play in E9. There's another one called C6, which is more. It's jazzier and it's big band and like Texas swing and all that. A lot of that's in C6. It's tuned it's tuned kind of to a chord, but you couldn't play all the strings open and it really sound that good. But you think about it in string sets that make up chords, and then you can modify those string sets with the pedals and knee levers.
Does it
See what I'm saying? Like you can set on one fret and go, if you're on the third fret and you're playing G, you can go G, A minor, B minor, C, D, E minor, F, G, all by using pedals and knee levers.
Well, now the band you play in now, Sea of Cortez, is instrumental. Why is that? Why did you decide to do an instrumental band?
Just
Did you consciously say
yeah,
that?
consciously, yeah. Yeah, it was conscious, like, you know, to go like.
Is there instrumental
Might be
music you had
cool.
heard, or that made you say that's what I want to do, or did you just? Because that's kind of odd if you think about it for local bands.
To be instrumental.
Well, or just to start off and say we're going to be instrumental. You know.
Yeah, I think it is. But I'm not really a lyric writer per se or anything, so.
Okay, so that was Rodney recorded in I think 2010. My first thought I had a hee haw story. So I think in 2009 I went on another beach trip with Rodney and a bunch of other people. I don't know, you know, we built a bonfire and everybody's having fun and everything. And about an hour later, I realized Rodney was like nowhere to be found. And I went up to the house and Rodney had found, like Rodney didn't have cable at his house, but we had cable at the beach house and he had found I don't know if they still have this, the Nashville Network, TNN.
Right.
And they were doing a 24-hour hee-haw
He was
marathon.
Yeah.
And he was just on the couch.
Oh, yeah.
And he was doing that laugh he does. So I walked in and he would just go,
Yeah.
And I was like, that's awesome, man. Are you coming back to the bonfire? And he's like,
No.
nope.
I don't blame him.
I'm doing hee-haw, so.
That's a great. I mean, it's like the hillbilly laugh-in, where it's just there's lightning fast gags, sight gags, and you have awesome talent that is guitar players, vocalists, everybody. That it's just a great bunch of fun in the barn.
Yeah, and he was not being ironic.
No.
He loved
It's
hee
genuine.
haw.
Yeah, he had one of those red, white, and blue
He did.
Oh,
I forgot
yeah.
about that.
guitars. That was a Buck Owens.
Buck Owens
Yes,
guitar,
he did.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's right. Quickly before we get to the whiskey segment, Tyler, you can let us all know a little bit more about the beginnings of Sia Cortez. I know we heard in the clip I asked him. Tyler was there at the beginning, so did you guys talk about the instrumental thing, or what was the genesis?
Yeah,
of
you
the
were there
band?
when he was hatching the whole deal?
I mean, it was the two of you
Or no?
hatching the whole deal, right?
Well, the odd thing, Rodney and I never spoke. No, I'm just joking. I first met Rodney shortly after I moved to Charlotte in 2001. Became aware of him and just thoroughly enjoyed his company, and eventually got a job with him at Contagious Graphic. I was just low man on the totem pole, but in between jobs we would just talk about music. We'd be blasting music, and he would drive me to Contagious Graphics and sort of talk about this idea that he had in his mind about starting a band sort of inspired by his trip or trips. I think he went once maybe down to Baja, California. Desert and the sky and the sea really had an effect on him, and he truly just wanted to sort of express that musically with no lyrics. And I just asked him to please just stop the car and let me out, and we didn't talk about it for a week or so. And then he came back by, picked me up, and then, we started to think about it. I was familiar with slide guitar to a degree. He was really amped up about this, and thinking about who would be in it, and I think at first we were thinking about maybe it should only be fretless instruments, percussion, maybe stand-up bass, but no guitars with frets. But that ended up, it was like, well, so-and-so wants to play, and then so-and-so else wants to play. I think there was about 30 or 40 members over the years, but at first it was just very simple. Then once you set a show or first show date, you can't go back. It's like, okay, it's been set.
You commit, and then you got to make sure you have songs.
Yeah. So we got to have songs. And they were all. It was 2004,
3?
No, 3. Yes, and at the Double Door, and it was opening for some band. Not sure who it was, but it was very, very nervous. I'd been playing on stage with some other combos and whatnot, not instrumental at all, but this was a new thing, and this was such a unique Charlotte, unique anywhere thing that I was so really psyched to be a part of it. And Rodney was at the helm. He was the captain. There was no
question about
it. No doubt about it. It was his essence was there, and just the initial talks, and knowing that he loved classic country. He also he liked Wilco and Giant Sand and that stuff too.
Calexico.
Yeah. Totally, Calexico. I forgot about them. But I kind of like the classic country stuff a little bit more, and we both connected on that, and that's what we wanted to wrap all up and present to people. Okay.
I'm going to break script right here. We're going to go to the whiskey segment, but instead of doing that right now, I'm going to just go ahead and play a song, because I'm sure there's people listening right now. They're like,
sure.
What does this sound like? Let me hear this shit. So let's go ahead and play a track right now. Okay, so that was Devil's Shoestring, which Tyler had a great comment while this was playing, which he said it sounded like.
I said, I like your refrigerator. It seems big enough. Oh, no. I said, that sounds like Slash wandering in the desert.
So that was Devil's Shoestring, which I was going to use as our outro, Henry, for the whiskey segment, but now we're just going to go and do a regular whiskey segment. So here we go.
Okay.
Whiskey's pretty cool.
Whiskey is pretty cool.
It's like what once was skin now is butter. Nerves that were twisted and tweaked are now smoothed out like soft water moving over rocks long before Kevin Bacon and Meryl hit the splashy beast.
Yeah, man, I like whiskey too. I'll take another shot with you.
To the truth!
All right, we're back. Here's the whiskey. What is it
Guess
today?
what we're drinking?
What are we drinking?
What is it?
We got the good stuff.
I got Maker's Mark.
That's right.
And I'll tell you why I got Maker's Mark.
Why?
Not because I think it's especially that good,
or
we've already used it
or the
once
Charles.
before.
I mean, there's none left.
Well, and there's none left.
Oh my God, are we burning
didn't-
through this?
We're burning through it, and Tyler hasn't even even hit
We haven't
it yet.
even tempted his.
Hold on, let me rub some on my teeth.
Yeah, but the reason I picked that was the last time I remember drinking any kind of brown liquor with Rodney, it was Maker's Mark, and it was in Atlanta.
We did a trip one time to I think it was Asheville with Don driving.
Oh yeah,
And
Don.
somehow we ended up with, I don't know if it was the cheap stuff or whatever, but it was a big gallon of it that we were passing around. And
Lord.
Rodney would take his, Don would take his, everybody took theirs. At some point we ended up at some bar. When I think of whiskey and Rodney, I think about that. And I think about being in that weird dance club.
All right, well we got a lot to talk about. Let's get out of the whiskey segment.
All right.
You go ahead and pour it, and we'll get on to the next segment. The onstage banner stuff you put together, which was great. Tell me
Onstage
about
banter.
that. Yes.
Rodney didn't like speaking on stage into the microphone to the audience or to us, the band members, or anyone really.
And remember, folks out there, we're an instrumental band, so no one's
Correct.
speaking to the audience at all.
Correct. There's a microphone set up usually for Rodney's accordion and the percussion stuff, but there's no vocals going on. So I had a bunch of CDs of live shows through the years that I'd collected or stolen or borrowed from people. I got some audio editing equipment or software, and so I was just ripping all of these shows. Usually there'd be one long track. So you have 45 minutes of all of our songs and all of the loud applause and laughter and everything. And then I had to go through and chop it up into little individual MP3s for songs. So I would have to cut out these little bits where Rodney would speak. It ended up being more enjoyable taking what he was saying, having fun with it from an editing point of view, than actually presenting, okay, here's this song and here's this song. I just had more fun with the banter and created this, I guess it's maybe like a 3-minute segment of, it just sounds like Rodney having a really strange night on stage, a very strange club.
So it's pieced together from a bunch of different nights.
Oh yeah, there's shows from the Evening Muse, The Room. I think maybe a Double Door show in there. Maybe
Henry, I want to put Tyler on the spot a bit as well, because these recordings are going to reveal as much about Tyler as they do about Rodney. But
he wouldn't think about, okay, tonight at the show I'm going to say something about the weather, then I'm going to have a gag about so and so. He just said what he said, but people are talking to him from the audience, people are yelling things, and he would address them sometimes. He would always mention the other band that we were playing with. And see, Henry's never heard these clips.
I'm dying.
I've heard these several times. I don't think we ever talked about it. And I don't think he ever said, like, why did you do that? But he enjoyed it, which made me feel better. And it's still something that it brings a smile to my face, because Rodney would never speak in this manner. And this is safe if you have children in the automobile or at home.
Is it okay?
Now. It is
all right.
safe.
So
bring the kids in the room right now.
Bring the kids. Bring them all back. This is the part of the show they're going to love. So here we
Sit
go.
them down.
Hug
and
the
here we go.
speaker, and
Press play. Here we
here's Rodney.
Sea of Cortez.
Thank you very much. We're the White Stripes. Rock your socks off.
Anybody else want to say anything? All right, this is one you can dance to, I think. Maybe.
I think Tom Waits is... He lives in a Mexican neighborhood very comfortably.
I bet he could tune better, not Kim.
This is our last song, Ryan Adams.
It's kind of what you get if you get Ben Kennedy playing Mexican music.
Woo!
All right, Mexico.
No, we got that one right. All right, you ready?
This one you can definitely dance to.
Check it out. Woo! Please. A lot of stuff to tell you. Oh yeah, we got T-shirts. We'll bargain with you on them because we're trying to get rid of those things. We're gonna get rid of our website and our records too. So thanks for coming out. This is a song called Andrew Webster. Actually just wrote it with a guy named Tyler Baum. He's a local guy. It was meant to be a lullaby, and he kind of added this kind bud to it, and it kind of freaked me out. My body's in shock. Breathe deep. Sunday school. The local music scene. Everybody worked real hard to do the show, and I just wanted to introduce everybody. The Irishman. On percussion and on cymbals, 8 white boys. Thanks to the Eastern Seaboard for Jeff Williams. So thanks for coming out.
This is a nice crowd for a Wednesday night. Sea of Cortez. Yeah.
I really started this band.
It's not a comedy routine. It's a serious business.
Okay, so that is some live in-between song banter from Rodney Lanier, which Tyler, you added the beeps.
No. I don't know how those just appeared in the right spot.
That's pretty amazing. And I do. This is. I didn't want to do this to Tyler.
What did you do?
I was going to. This is where I was going to put in my favorite. So Tyler Baum is a legendary.
What?
A local trickster.
Humorist.
Oh, Lord.
Humorist.
I'd call him a humorist.
Oh, Lord.
Okay, humorist. My favorite Tyler story, which I guarantee you he's going to deny that he did, and this is from some people that know him better than I do. Somebody said now Henry, this is cool because this is the long. First of all, this is the long con. And this is like you're not even sure you're actually going to get the end result of the joke. You're not even going to see it, but you're just putting it out there.
Okay.
So I heard a rumor that you made a bunch of pamphlets up. Like, so I don't know if you've been to restaurants or places near, like see Niagara Falls or something. You know, there's all those restaurants you go out have pancakes, and then they'll be out in the lobby. There'll be a bunch of pamphlets for local attractions or whatever.
Pamphlets.
You know what I'm saying? Like, have you ever been?
Yeah,
seen
Luray
these?
Caverns or Dive with the Manatees.
Yeah. I heard that you might have made up your own version of that, and then actually went like all across this, maybe North and South Carolina, and placed these in.
I love these stories. I love it. But
what I liked about that story is not. I never saw the pamphlet, so I don't know how funny the pamphlet was. But what I like about that story is Tyler's never going to see the end result of that joke. He just goes home and goes,
knows.
how fucking funny is this to me, just to me, that like somebody out there is going to pick it up and go,
I should go to this.
See whatever, and then they drive out somewhere that Tyler tells them to drive.
You've given me a good idea, because I didn't do those for North and South Carolina, which maybe it's time to do that. But unfortunately, I think the heyday of pamphlets in the hotel lobby and restaurant is over, unfortunately. But I did do something in Virginia Beach with some leaflets. I still do that on occasion. It's hard not to. When I go home, that's where I'm from, it's hard not to try to confuse the people and tourists of Virginia Beach. But I do like to hear reports of tricks and pranks that have also been mangled through the grapevine. Through the grapevine. So he did what? He put what in
he
where?
Did that?
And then it changes. Like, yeah, I did do that. But that's very close. And now I'm thinking, now maybe I think now I'd want to maybe raise the funds and put up a billboard on the side of the highway somewhere.
That would be great. I think that would be wonderful.
I don't know, but I'll get back to you on that.
All right. Well, so I promised I would sneak that in, but let's talk about. So you I know for a fact, because I think your picture was on one of their album covers. Ooh. But you went on tour with Lodestar, which was Rodney's
right?
Rodney's first
correct
real band.
I think so. I don't know. That's how I was introduced to Rodney, through Lodestar, which I believe was Jeff Williams, Scott Werner, Waldorf. I'm probably forgetting 6 or 7 people.
And when he says Waldorf, he means Chris Waldorf, who is also the drummer of Sia Cortez.
Correct.
Yeah.
And so I come to Charlotte via San Francisco, a brief stop in Los Angeles, and I show up, and it's just almost immediately, hey, do you want to come to Charleston with Lodestar? And I was like, do I?
Of course I do.
Let me put down my suitcase.
Let me count the ways.
Let me read the newspaper real fast, eat some soup, cut my fingernails, and then, yes, let's go. And stayed with them, and just got to spend time with Rodney and eat seafood with Rodney and pick up on his sense of humor in the band situation. And getting to know him through that was awesome. And at some point, I know they had stuff to do. They had equipment to move, and I wasn't going to help them with that.
So tell us, and I'll get Henry. Henry's going to post a picture of this on the Facebook
album
site. Tell us that you're on the album
cover.
I'm on
the album cover.
How did that happen?
I'm on the cover of Lodestar's album, which is called National Cheer.
National Cheer, yeah.
Not Bronx Cheer.
No.
National Cheer. I made that mistake at many record exchanges.
I've never heard the record, but I actually hung the album cover in my bathroom.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Where exactly in the bathroom, if you don't? At what height?
About 4 inches.
Well, there you are. What possessed you to wear that hat, man?
What hat?
What hat? I never noticed he had a hat.
Oh my God!
Did they ask you to wear that? Is that what you wore all the time?
I had to wear probably 20 different hats before they settled on that.
They said this is the right hat.
Yeah. I mean, there was like
this is bullshit.
There was like the Buckingham Palace guard hat. There was the big foam cowboy hat. There was
and
the
your
beret.
face like epitomated. Is that a word? I just made a word. Epitomated.
Epitomated.
Thanks, Maker's Mark.
Did you keep the negatives of the other hats?
Unfortunately, that was in the days.
epitome of national cheer.
That was in the. Actually, the album cover really makes sense in 2017 America.
I think it does.
Go, whatever you're doing. If you're
National
driving,
Cheer.
pull over to the side of the road and Google National Cheer Lodestar. Look at it for 20 seconds and then just keep on going.
I'm happy.
You would say the album cover probably covered your rent. Doing that photo shoot probably covered your rent for like 6 months.
I remind everyone in that band very frequently that I was paid nothing. They didn't dedicate any songs to me.
You know, I often wonder
notice.
how much money the baby made on the cover of the Nirvana. I mean, I'm sure he's still living off that. And
That
I
dollar.
assume that,
I don't think he's alive.
No,
I assume that
the baby's still alive.
I
Definitely.
assume Tyler was still living off of that album cover
No,
money.
I'm
But
see, this is in the. I keep referring to the old days, but this is in the old days when you could just take a picture
days.
of anybody and put it on your
slap
CD,
it on your CD and be ready to
and
go.
no one would know. And I learned about that. I did see it every now and then in CD stores, and I'd hold it up and maybe make a comment to the person behind the counter and say, "Oh, this person looks kind of familiar," and they wouldn't get the joke or the gag, or they wouldn't. It was like, "Sir, do you want to buy
Hold
it?"
it
or
right
not?
next to your head.
Well,
No, they didn't get it. Yeah.
So this is a good point to play another tune. So
Which one?
right now we're going to play another Rodney Lanier original. This is a Sia Cortez song called "I'll Love It." Okay, so while that tune was playing, me and Tyler and Henry were kind of talking about. It's kind of weird how fuzzy our memories of the band Sea Cortez are, and I think part of that, Tyler, is because Rodney did have a broad cast of players at all different times.
Correct.
So there's no definite linear but there is one linear moment in that band. When you left,
I left.
Was the moment I entered.
Interesting.
Because your last practice was this kind of like used car salesman thing where you were convincing me to play. I thought you were the bassist because I walked into Waldorf's studio and you were giving...
Was I wearing like a disguise?
No, it was very strange because you were given the task of showing me the bass line. And I kept the notes from that session for years. And I played through this amp that you had, which shocked me when I first plugged
Fender
into it. And I
Bassman.
almost...
Not grounded.
Not grounded. I almost passed out.
Had a big sticker that says, "Be careful."
That sticker I think had worn off at that point. Yeah. And then, so anyway, I thought I was replacing you, which was totally not true because you never actually played bass, I don't think.
And you were showing him the bass lines, but didn't know.
I probably played an exceptional, great slap bass little lesson and showed you everything right then and there, though, didn't I?
No, but 3 of the big local Charlotte bands.
Oh, we're talking. Can you put reverb on? Big. That's pretty good.
Pyramid.
Oh yeah,
was a band which Tyler was in. Sea of Cortez.
Yep.
And the Houston Brothers.
Oh my lord!
I mean, you're talking about at this point. This is the Charlotte trifecta.
Oh man!
These guys all got together and decided to play each other's tunes.
It was. The reverb is still on or off? Turn it way up.
I think I turned it up.
For this entire for the rest of the segment, please turn reverb all up. It was a blue moon, July 31st, 2000. What the hell was that? Okay, never mind. It was a crazy show. I don't know whose idea it was. It was not. We can't blame it on some crazy local promoter or Svengali character or something. Someone had the idea. It started to snowball. Then before it could be squashed, it's like, oh man, we're really going to do this, aren't we? 3 bands, 1 night, 1 stage, a set list carefully curated so that each individual band would have they'd play their hits, kind of, okay, y'all steer the ship for your songs. Right. And then maybe so-and-so go backstage and have a sandwich, and it was insane. It was a great crowd. The crowd was going insane, you included. I think I can hear y'all both yell at some point. Someone was yelling for Rodney. Women were yelling for Rodney. You can hear us on stage laughing at the people applauding and cheering because it really did. It could have been a horrible musical accident, but nothing really horrible happened. There were no loud feedback explosions or malfunctions, wardrobe or musically, and it just all happened really well. My parents were there. They don't come down for many shows from Virginia, but they were there.
Yeah, and I mean...
They liked it. Lots of people's parents were there, and it was a fun, strange show that has been recorded and saved for the ages 13 years ago.
13 years ago,
wow. 13 years ago. It's just a little strange capsule of dedication and focus, and I could tell Rodney really enjoyed it, and his calmness helped us get through the strangeness of the event and the stress.
So you brought one of the songs. You actually have the recordings. You brought one of the songs.
Yes.
To play.
Oh, wait,
which
hold on.
one? Which one did you bring?
It's in this case. Let me get it out of this case.
Excellent.
Fast.
Ooh, it's shaped like a brick.
Well, hold on. It was very dusty.
But it's glowing.
Sorry, Henry. I got dust all over.
But it's glowing.
Okay. Play this song. Don't touch it, please.
Okay, I'm not going to touch this. And the song is called...
This is The Ballad of Lacey Rollins.
And here we go. Okay, we're back. So that was what did you guys call that officially? The Sea of
Pyramid Brothers.
And Tyler, you said this is like probably one of the pinnacles of your musical.
I just thought
thing, right?
it is probably the top live music experience because of the people involved and how it came out in the end. It really sounded good, and it was fun to play the neighborhood theater before they ripped all the chairs out. So people were sitting down and well behaved and really just
listening.
Oh, they were listening,
not talking
moderately
over the quiet parts and all that.
Yeah, they were listening. I could just tell how everybody was happy, and I had a really good night. And
then there was like a great party afterwards.
There was a party over at the house on Flynwood, and everybody eventually meandered over that way. And
so for the uninitiated, the Flynwood house was kind of like the Pyramid / Sea Cortez
headquarters.
Chris Waldorf owned the house, but there was like at the time there were members of both bands living there.
I lived there briefly. Everybody passed through there, and
pretty much everybody did.
Great Susu recording studio.
Yeah. But so that was that, and I have to say for me that was one of the best local shows. And when I say local show, I don't mean to belittle it by saying it was a great show. I also started another band with Rodney called Fence Lines.
Yes,
which was not actually a band. It was an idea.
What do you mean it wasn't a band?
Yeah, whoa. Rewind that.
Okay, so
idea.
Okay, so this is what the idea was. It had 3...
The idea is you had a band.
No, it was not the idea. The idea was...
I need to lay down for this. Hold on.
All right. We're going to let Tyler lay down. So the first idea was we were going to record it on this thing called... I can't remember the recording software at the time, but it was the worst Microsoft... It was the free stuff that came to Microsoft.
Those are Pro Tools.
Cool Edit Pro.
Yeah.
So
I remember that.
That's the only thing I use.
Okay, so the reason Waldorf wasn't in the band was because he got a nosebleed when we said we're recording on Cool Edit Pro because he was already on Pro Tools. So we were like, no, we're going to record on Cool Edit Pro on an old computer.
An old computer.
That's number one.
I didn't know this. This is
okay.
great.
And here's number 2. Every song is going to be done in one night. So each song that's on the record was a one-night thing. We're going to meet for however many weeks to do 12 songs, and then that's going to be the record.
Yeah.
So if you had an idea, and here's the third idea. Everybody had to bring an idea, each individual member, and if you brought an idea, you had to sing it. So if you
every band,
I remember that, but I always thought that was just self-imposed restrictions you put on yourself.
Well, it was, but we never thought of ourselves as a band. Like we didn't think we were going to tour. We thought it was going to be a train wreck. But so what we actually turned out being was just a club that met once a week, and we were like super psyched because at 6:00 in the evening we were going to meet at Rodney's house.
Rodney's house on Drummond,
and we were going to create a whole song in one night. That was the goal, no matter what it was, and it was done at the end of that night. That was it.
Man. That's it. Close the book.
Close the book. So I'll play one from that record. We actually made a record, and I don't know if I wanted to play this to begin with, but I think I should. The one that Rodney put forward, and again with that explanation, Rodney did not like his vocals on this record, but the record parameters said, "You bring a song, you gotta fucking sing it." And so Rodney sang it, and this is Rodney's singing contribution to the Fence Lines, and here it is.
All right.
You open the door, covered by nothing but a sheet. You let it fall to the floor, covering only a few. What's there to find between your lips but a thin line? There's no need to speak, just let it fall. Held so tight, your breath, it was hard to keep, and the ghost has reached its peak. There's no need to speak,
Okay, so that was No Need to Sleep by Fence Lines with, obviously, Rodney Lanier wrote that one.
I don't know if he did this with you. He would bring you presents and gifts and stuff.
Yep.
Which is something guys don't really do a lot of, right?
But Rodney would leave gifts, give gifts. I don't think he wrote many postcards when he went to Europe on tour with Jolene, but he sent me at least 1 or 2 postcards to Contagious Graphics. Just, hey, the show was good last night. I'm going to go get a beer. See
There was
you when I get
something
back.
about that when he would show up and hang out with you. He would often have a little present or something to give. I don't know if that's something about being from Advance or something, but there was something about that rang true to me like nothing else. Like my relationship with him was not tethered to music as much like it was with you guys. You know, like I ended my sort of musical involvement years ago. But that wasn't what, you know.
That wasn't the basis.
Yeah, that wasn't the basis, which is why it was so beautiful to me. I mean, I knew I was involved in the music scene or whatever just because I was friends with you still, and that's how I met Rodney. But he would he invited me to Mexican food one night, and the guy reached in his pocket and he brought out some hot sauce that he'd made at his house for me.
He had a pepper garden, remember?
Oh, he was all about peppers and
just
sauces and stuff.
I mean, people just don't do that.
So here's another little tidbit from that time period. Tyler actually owns and now plays Rodney's pedal steel. Did you know how to play pedal steel before?
Not at all.
Okay, so you've self-taught.
This is something, one of my biggest regrets is that I've never just went to Rodney's house. I never went to his apartment when I was living in the same building as him. And I never just said, Rodney, today you're going to tell me everything there is to know about the pedal steel.
Right.
Of course, he had books and lessons and scales to practice, but I just wanted to get his take on what sounds good, what don't you do, how do you put it together, how do you take it apart. It's somewhat intimidating for someone that doesn't know the intricacies of, you turn the thing upside down and it looks like, and it's scary. It's intimidating as an instrument because you don't want to break anything. There's 10 strings. It's a weird tuning. You can, if you change, like Rodney was talking about going from like E9 and C6 tuning, requires completely different sets of strings. You can't just have E9 strings and tune it to C6.
For the completely uninitiated out there like me, there is lap steel, which Tyler talked about earlier, which is literally it's basically almost like a guitar
sitting on your lap.
Sit on your lap and you play slide.
You can use a guitar as just if you.
Does it have 10 strings?
No,
it's just a 6-string.
There's variations. There's different string numbered guitars, but usually it's 6 strings.
But an actual pedal steel, folks, and the one that Rodney owned and the one that now Tyler owns, is actually it kind of takes all of your limbs to play it, right?
It does. There's knee levers. There's foot pedals.
There's a knee lever.
Yeah, that's what these things are.
That's what the other leg's doing.
Yeah, so you're kind of changing stuff with your legs.
You're all changing the tuning of. Some change the tuning of 1 string. Some change the tuning of 2 strings. Some go up half a step. Some go down a whole step, a half a step, and you could go in there and change it completely strange and however you wanted, but the E9 tuning, I decided I may as well just learn the standard tuning to get familiar where notes are, where things are, where chords are. I still have a long way to go.
And I know you probably want me to edit this out of the podcast, but Tyler plays in I don't even know if you call it a band, but he currently uses the pedal steel in this brilliant project he does, which is called Don Telling's Island Mysteries, coming to a town near you soon. Basically what you do is you score a movie, which Tyler picked all the movie bits, and I don't know if it's all from the same movie or not.
It's strange educational films, government training films.
Really?
There's some Hawaii Five-0 episodes that have been chopped up and.
But he's put together an amazing group of players, and they basically soundtrack it, and it's funny, and it's cool, and it's intricate. But he plays the pedal steel, which is like amazing for me personally to see Rodney's pedal steel still be.
Touch it.
Which is right here.
This is his tone bar. I still use his tone bar, which is a heavy tone bar. That is his.
That is a heavy one.
That's
I always
what this
thought.
is called.
Yes.
I just thought it was called slide. It's called tone bar.
Yeah, it's a metal. It looks like a big long bullet, and it's shiny.
heavier than I
It
thought,
is
too.
heavy. That is the thing, and I'm glad that I have that. I'm glad that I have Rodney's guitar. It is my prized possession that I think of Rodney every day, regardless. But when I'm playing this, I think of him often.
Tyler has graced us. He's going to play it.
Yep.
Which is amazing.
Right here.
Right here in my kitchen.
All right.
Tyler is going to play the pedal steel
Yes.
and do his best to honor Rodney with his playing. And by the way, folks, Tyler is an amazing musician. This is not going to be a problem. So let's. What are you going to play for us?
Keep in mind, this is an instrument that is still very new to me, and it's freezing cold in here. So could you please turn up the heat a smidgen, Mr.
I'll see what I can
Scrooge?
do. I can see what I can do. And tell us, you're gonna play a medley of?
Yes, a medley of Sea of Cortez hits, not hits, just songs that I wish I just said, Rodney, how do you play this? I don't know how he played them. I'm trying to approximate what I think he played into a new way of hearing them. It's a fun way to learn the pedal steel, and it makes me respect Rodney's songwriting from a whole different angle.
Melodies and written by Rodney, right?
All Rodney all the time, yes.
What was happening there at the beginning? Seemed like you learned really quick how to play.
Did you not notice your cat was crawling all over me at that point? And
the cat was playing it.
My cat is an amazing pedal steel player, and I'm really upset that you don't acknowledge
That's
that.
okay.
Well, I think we've done a pretty good job of a Rodney tribute episode.
Yep.
Is there anything?
I remember once towards the end of his life, I showed up. We were hanging out one time, and he lost a lot of weight, right? And so we walked in, and I remember I wanted to make him something to eat, but he insisted on making me something to eat for some ridiculous reason. I'm like, dude, you're sick. You're on death's door. You know, I mean, what are you making me stuff for? What the hell, dude? Sit down. Let me make you some tomato soup. And I had a blast just sitting there eating tomato soup with this guy and watching the Metal Years Decline of Western Civilization.
I never knew he would have liked that.
He thought it was hilarious.
It's the last thing.
He says, I didn't even know this existed. What the hell is this?
Well, you know, I went over to his house one night near the end, and they had put a couple friends of his had paid for and put cable in his house. And we were sitting there, and I said, you know, do you want to... The TV was off, and I said, do you want to watch? And he said, no, I just let them put it in because it made them feel better. I don't really watch TV. And I was like, you know, that like, to me, exemplifies Rodney. Because, like, he wouldn't make you feel uncomfortable if you felt like it would... Like, my wife and I... His back was hurting a lot, and so we decided we were going to get him a new mattress. So I said one day, I went over to his house, I said, let's go get you a new mattress. And he said, cool. He didn't complain or anything, and we went to the mattress store. And Rodney went to the second mattress we looked at, and he promptly just laid down on it and fell asleep. And the mattress salesman guy was sweating bullets, and he didn't want to be rude, but he tried to ignore Rodney, and he kept talking to me, and he was like, so what do you think about that mattress? I was like, I don't know what he thinks because he's fucking asleep. And so
mattress. I think that's a pretty ringing endorsement, man.
And then about 30 minutes later, I woke Rodney up because the salesman was about to blow a fuse, and I was like, "What are you thinking?" Rodney goes, "No, that's not the right one."
I love it.
And then we left, and so we didn't get a mattress. But I think that was Rodney's way of telling me, if you need me to go, if it makes you feel better to help me find a mattress, I'll go fall asleep on a mattress for you. But I don't need a new mattress. But he wasn't going to be rude to me
and say, yeah.
You know what I mean?
And deprive you of the ability.
Yeah, so he let people put cable in his house, but he didn't give it. That wasn't what mattered to Rodney, and that was
What mattered was that people wanted to feel like they could have some impact,
like they could help him some way.
Or help him in some way, and he knew that the people needed to feel that. You know, you've met people who express empathy just for what it gets them out of the world. Or people who sort of have a facade of empathy about them. That guy really had empathy as just an endemic quality to who he was.
So I want to give the last word to Tyler. Thank you for being here, and we're gonna definitely, if you will be so gracious, have you back later just to talk about stuff you're doing.
Yeah.
But give us the last word on Rodney, and then I'm going to play a song called Paquito to take us out.
Oh, Paquito, yes. The last words, just a little quick recollection. Back when Netflix began, you could have friends and make recommendations and send people movie ideas to watch. Became friends with Rodney. This is before Netflix became into streaming and all that stuff. Just DVDs and maybe what. So I just recommended a movie to Rodney, just on a whim, and it was called Bigfoot, The Unforgettable Encounter.
An 11-year-old boy, an age-old legend, a lifelong friendship.
Yes, and apparently, you may have told me this, or did you tell me this? So I somehow caught wind of the story that somebody said, Rodney watched that movie that you recommended by himself the other night and said just nothing happened. He thought I recommended it to him on a serious, you should watch it. Or it was going to be silly, have some strange humor to it that he'll really, maybe a David Lynchian aspect to it. But no, it's just a bad 1994 piece of crap movie with a really strange looking Bigfoot. Rodney sat down by himself, watched the whole damn thing, just waiting for this something to happen. Why else would I recommend it? And he never really talked about it after that. I caught wind of it somehow. And I always kind of think of that moment of stillness of him just maybe sipping a beer, eating some chips and salsa, and the sun's going down, and waiting and maybe thinking about life and music, and maybe checking his phone every now and then, but maybe what are you doing? Can't come right now. I'm watching a movie. Hold on. And that just makes me smile. And not usually, all the time. When I think about Rodney, I smile and I end up laughing. And I miss him dearly. And I can hear his laugh. And I can hear him tell me wise words, and he's with me now, and he's with all of us, and I just miss the guy, but he really, I really had no idea that I would ever meet somebody as interesting and cool as Rodney, and I miss him.
Yeah, and I don't think it can be said any better than that, and I second that. And we're gonna go out, instead of with our normal theme music, we're gonna go out with a song.
What does it mean?
It's usually about a very small girl defining if you're cute or small.
Paquito.
Wow, and so this is Paquito taking us out, and I want to let everyone know 99.9% of the music you heard tonight was written by Rodney Lanier, our friend, and we all miss him and wish he was still here. And Henry, say the words that take us out.
We've got no fucking band, Chris.